Welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We are back again with another video. We've got lots of pieces of news as Felipe Anderson has been linked with a shock move to Arsenal, and also Sokratis and Lucas Torreira are closing in on moves to respective clubs in Italy, and also Alexis Sanchez has claimed that he would have returned to Arsenal straight away after his first training session at Manchester United because he didn't like it. So let's get into the first piece of news, which suggests that Felipe Anderson could be offered to Arsenal in a loan deal, and that Arsenal offered West Ham's want-away star Felipe Anderson in a £5 million loan deal. The Brazilian midfielder has failed to make much of an impression for the East Londoners recently, and is believed that he is keen on a move away. Arsenal could make a shock move to sign West Ham misfit Felipe Anderson following the speculation he has been offered to the Gunners on loan in return for a £5 million loan fee. The 27-year-old Brazilian attacking midfielder has flattered to deceive the Hammers, and he's recently fallen out of favour under David Moyes after flashes of promise in his first season at the London Stadium. He has just scored one and created only 4 assists in the Premier League in the 1920 season, and may relish an opportunity of a fresh start as he looks to behind his West Ham nightmare behind him. With Arsenal looking to improve their options going forward under Mikel Arteta, the opportunity to sign Anderson on a cut price deal could be a tempting one. However, with the player set to earn around 140 grand a week at West Ham, it is not yet clear how the two clubs would agree on what percentage each would pay towards his salary. Anderson made his first moves to the Premier League in 2018 after he joined the Hammers for a fee of around £36 million from Lazio. He was an important part of the first team in the first campaign, making 40 appearances in all competitions and scoring 10 goals, but his attitude commitment to the club has been called into question of late. Arsenal already completed the signings of winger Willian and defender Gabriel Magalhaes this summer as the revolution under Arteta continues. They are also expected to re-sign Dani Ceballos on another season-long loan from Real Madrid. Arteta will be hoping that he can bring in 1 or 2 more players before the first game of the season against Fulham. Now, my opinion on Felipe Anderson, that he is a very good player, but I just don't think Arsenal should be going in for him. You know, he hasn't proven it at West Ham level, so how is he going to prove it at Arsenal level? I think if we're going to go after an attacking midfielder or someone on the left-hand side of midfield, I think Philippe Coutinho is basically a better version of Felipe Anderson. So why can't we just go in for Philippe Coutinho? Well, we know exactly what we're going to get from Coutinho in the Premier League. Obviously, he used to play for Liverpool, so you know what you're going to get with Coutinho, don't you? With Anderson, he's very inconsistent. He has some attitude, commitment problems, something that Mikel Arteta really doesn't like. It looks like more to me that Arsenal have been offered the chance more than Arsenal have approached Felipe Anderson or West Ham camp. So I don't think there's much truth in it, but I'm here to report the news, and that's what we're doing today. What do you guys think about Felipe Anderson? Do you think he'll be a good fit at Arsenal? In my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think he'll fit into Arsenal. I think someone like Coutinho or even Hossim Aouar would be the best person to bring in this scenario. So that's my opinion on Felipe Anderson. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section down below. So we're going to get on to the next piece of news, which comes in the form of Sokratis and Lucas Torreira. Now, there's the reports intensifying on these guys moving on and Syria moves. A busy summer continues at the Emirates Stadium as Arsenal look to move on a number of squad players. After signing Willian and Gabriel, the Gunners are now focused on outgoings before making more deals to strengthen Arteta's squad. And according to La Barra Viola, Lucas Torreira has already agreed his exit. The Florentina-based website claimed the Syria club have reached an agreement with Arsenal and the Uruguayan midfielder. The proposed deal would see Arsenal pocket €8 million this summer, with Torreira leaving on a loan, and a further €16 million next year when the move is made permanent. AFC Stuff have said this. Torreira has already agreed personal terms with Fiorentina over a 4-year contract worth £3.6 million a year, plus various bonuses linked with results, making them the second highest payer behind only one player. And he isn't the only one on a move out. Speaking on Thursday, Napoli's president Aurelio De Laurentiis claimed the club's interest in Sokratis. "We are working on signing Sokratis Papastatopoulos from Arsenal. We consider an option," he told reporters. The Greek international has just 1 year left on his Arsenal contract and has fallen to the bottom of the pecking order, with new defenders arriving in the form of William Saliba and Gabriel. So yeah, Napoli president speaking out, suggesting that Sokratis could be a potential replacement for Kalidou Koulibaly. And obviously, I've said this before, Kostas Manolas being at Napoli, his Greek partner in the Greek national team, will really help him move and adapt into Italy and to Naples. So I think this is a no-brainer for Sokratis, as he's not going to get any game time under Arteta. After lockdown, he only appeared in one game, and that was in the FA Cup final when Arteta had to make some changes and bring on some fresh legs. But I don't think Sokratis has a future at the club. We have a lot of centre-backs and we need to start moving them on. Now, the deal with Napoli, it looks like it's going to be a £4 million transfer fee, €4 million transfer fee, something like that. And they're going to cover, obviously, Napoli are going to take on all his wages, maybe even take a pay cut, who cares? But we get around 80 to 100 grand a week off the wage bill, basically covers for Gabriel signing, which will be very good. And we bring in €5 million. Now, Lucas Torreira, in all, we do pocket around €24 million after next year, which is very good for Arsenal because we can put those €25 million into signing someone like Thomas Partey, put the Sokratis deal together, put some other departures together, and we could potentially fund deals for Partey and Josemao, and that would be crucial for us moving forward. Now, again, Lucas Torreira, Sokratis, they're not the only players been linked away. A lot, players like Bellerin, I've talked about a lot over the last few days, has also been linked with a move away to Paris Saint-Germain. It has gone quiet over the last 12 hours or so, but there is still a lot of interest from them. And, other players like Rob Holding, Callum Chambers, all be linked with the moves away. And, Kolasinac, it looks like that's intensifying as well. So, we are getting rid of quite a bit of dross, but we just have to make sure these deals actually go through, because none of these deals have actually gone through. Torreira is on the brink, Sokratis looks like he's on the brink of leaving, and other players like Bellerin, maybe if Arsenal do accept an offer of 30 million plus, we could be letting him go as well. So this is very promising from Arsenal, that we are letting go of lots of these players. So that is the news that Torreira and Sokratis are close to moving away to Fiorentina and Napoli respectively. Next bit of news is not transfer news, but it's actually quite interesting news, and it's about Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he used to play for Arsenal, huge fan favourite, and he eventually went to Manchester United in a swap deal for Henrik Mkhitaryan. Both have now left and terminated their contracts and gone to Italy, so not a very good move for both parties, was it? And apparently Alexis Sanchez wanted a Manchester United exit after his first training session and wanted to return to Arsenal. Sanchez, on being dropped by Jose Mourinho in September 2018, he said, "I told myself that it couldn't be possible to go from one of the best players in the Premier League to that in the space of 5 months." Inter Milan forward Alexis Sanchez admits he asked his agent if he could leave Man United and return to Arsenal after his first training session. Sanchez took to Instagram on Thursday night to tell his side of the story about his failed move to Old Trafford from Arsenal in 2018, which saw Henrik Mkhitaryan head in the opposite direction. The Chilean never found any real form in his 2-year spell at United, scoring only 5 goals in 45 appearances. Actually scored against Arsenal, I think, in the cup or something. Sanchez initially agreed to join Man City, but his high-wage demands ruled United's closest rivals out of the race to sign him, leaving United a clear path to get their man. But it was so rushed nature of the move that left Sanchez so shocked when he arrived at United, so he felt that he didn't know what he was getting himself into. In a video posted on his social media, Sanchez said, "I accepted the opportunity to go to United. It felt tempting and it was something good for me. I liked this club a lot when I was a kid. Eventually I signed, but I didn't ask for information what was happening inside the club. Sometimes there are things that you don't realize until you get there, and I remember my first training session I realized a lot of things. After the session, I got home and told my family and agent, can you not rip up the contract and go back to Arsenal? They laughed. I told them there's something that doesn't sit right and it doesn't seem good, but I already signed and I'm already there, and after the first few months I carried on having the same feeling. We weren't united as a team in that moment." And he also suggested we weren't really a family. Sanchez arrived in January 2018 with big expectations on his shoulder, only intensified by becoming the club's top earner, and he feels that he became a scapegoat for the team's failures. "I'm telling you my experience, the journalists at times would speak without knowing the facts, and it hurt. They had no idea what was going on inside the club," he added. "They said it was my fault and this and that, but sometimes the player depends on the environment, the family, and that is created around him. I think that in that moment we weren't really a family, and that translated onto the pitch, and since there needed to be someone to blame, they blame me." And why not, to be honest? He was on 400, 500 grand a week. It couldn't be possible to go from one of the best to that. Jose Mourinho was in charge at United when Sanchez arrived in January 2018 and kept faith in the Chilean international for the remainder of that season. Mourinho's patience wore thin at the start of the next campaign, and he dropped Sanchez from the squad for a Premier League match at West Ham in September. It was the first in Sanchez's career. He was stunned and United lost 3-1. Mourinho was eventually sacked a few months later in December. I remember a game against West Ham I wasn't picked, and that never happened during my career. That changed a lot and it really bothered me, and that day I told myself it couldn't be possible to go from one of the best players in the Premier League to that in the space of 5 months. That bothered me a little, I got home and I was very sad for what happened, and the next day I put in a double training session. As I've always been, I demand the best. I love what I do, and I really like that, and I love football a lot. So that is what Alexis Sanchez had to say in an interview, and yeah, that is quite damning. You know, he always loved Arsenal, but as we've always said and we've always known, the huge wages that he wanted, you know, he got that United and eventually moved on, and we got Qatar in return, but we did get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang a few weeks later. All in all, it wasn't too bad, and obviously we gave Mesut Ozil that huge contract that we are still regretting to date. And I think with Alexis Sanchez, it just really hasn't worked for him since he left Arsenal. Why did he leave Arsenal? We'll never know. What do you guys think about this in the comment section down below? Would you take Alexis Sanchez back now if you could? I don't think I would. But, you know, we just need to move on from the past, and it's very unlucky for him, and hopefully I wish him all the best at Inter Milan. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section down below. So that is it for Arsenal's Transfer News Daily. Today we'll be back tomorrow with another episode, and Dani Ceballos is closing in on loan moves, so we could have an announcement video for that today. Stay tuned for that. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.